something I had never seen before, actually. I've never seen such attention to preserving and protecting diversity while also putting it within this larger project of helping people improve their lives. That we are witnessing, actually, not a descent into tragedy. We are witnessing the overall trajectory moving in the right direction. And that's what is very interesting to see, and I'm very pleased to see it.
Hello everyone, welcome to InXinjiang, telling you the most truth about Xinjiang from expert eyes. Everyone, Danny Haiphong, an internet influencer of 270,000 followers on YouTube. Say hello to our audience, Danny.
Hello, it's really great to be here.
Is this your first time in Xinjiang?
No, it's actually my second time in
When
Xinjiang.
is that?
The first time I was in Xinjiang was the end of 2019. I spent about 3 days in Urumqi.
And how was your impression of Urumqi that time?
Well, first and foremost, it was very dry and very cold, but it was still very lively, and of course the people were very hospitable, and it was a great time, great food, and yeah, it was just a very humbling experience because I had actually gone at that time to see for myself what the Western media was talking about with regard to Xinjiang, and I found no signs of what the Western media says, and just a lot of signs of improvement of people's lives, because I do know that Xinjiang has a long history of being a westernmost province and one that has made a lot of gains and progress in development. So it was just there to see people both enjoying their cultural traditions, religious practices, keeping up their long histories of living in a certain way while also modernizing at a very rapid pace.
What exactly did they say over there in media?
Well, in the United States and the West, there is a lot of talk in the media about Xinjiang being a place that's rife with oppression, and particularly the Uyghur people, we are told, have been suppressed, have had their culture interfered upon, and they are not able to practice and live the way they want to live because the Chinese government is enforcing a policy of pretty strict repression, concentration camps, I've been told, that people are in massive numbers. They've even used the word genocide, but there is no sign of that in Xinjiang. And in my 2 times so far being here, I've noticed actually that people's lives are improving. This narrative, I've been able to see it for myself. I've been able to see people's income rising. It seems like every time I speak to someone, they're talking about their incomes rising, being able to do more, expand their businesses, live happier lives, and of course, cultural tradition is everywhere. Whether it's the Uyghur people, Kazakh people, or the various ethnic groups here, all doing it together or separately, it's all combined. It's a very interesting experience that it's actually quite difficult for a lot of Westerners to understand, I think, because we don't always have that opportunity to see this, to see people come together, no matter their differences, and live in harmony. It's a pretty beautiful thing, actually.
Now let me talk more about you. And can you tell me why would you want to participate in the Way media at the first place?
My hope in the work that I do is that I can help inform people about perspectives they may not have heard, especially the perspective coming from China, and especially being able to learn more about China's process, what role it plays in the world, and what kind of relationship we really should have as human beings with another people and another country. That to me is the most important, to develop a peaceful relationship where we can all progress together.
Was there any difficulties and or with the obstacles that you have encountered in covering those things, especially in covering China and China's Xinjiang?
There are a lot of obstacles. For one, there is such an intense message that is propagated by big media. I mean, we're talking about the biggest media outlets in the world, and their ability to spread a particular message far and wide, especially in the United States, is vast. And that makes it really difficult to reach people with another perspective, because then you are seen as how the media portrays you, as someone who is promoting some kind of false narrative for China. But in reality, that's not what's happening at all. What is happening is that there is a huge need to understand a place, a people, for what they actually are and what they're actually doing. But the challenges are that the media does have a huge impact in the United States. In the West, there's a very concentrated amount of companies that spread a very particular narrative, very negative view about Xinjiang, about China. And that's a huge challenge in the United States and in the West with things like censorship, we call it, not allowing certain voices and perspectives to be told. And also just the fact that whether you're being directly silenced, whether you're having channels removed or videos removed, or whether it's not being promoted or boosted, you don't have access. The result tends to be the same, that we have difficulty reaching people. And so that has been a huge challenge for me.
When you're facing this difficulties or this negative response, how did you do to justice these facts?
Well, in truth, what I do is I just keep going. I mean, I think it's important to travel to a place like Xinjiang, to gather information, to just show Xinjiang for what it really is like, to show China for what it really is like, to speak to people who offer a different perspective. It's all about perspective. It's all about gaining a reality that is closer to the one that we could never really know. Because I'm from the United States. I'll never know exactly how China works, how Xinjiang works. All I can do is go, learn more, and then put out that information based on how I see it, assess it, analyze it. That's a big part of my work, is analyzing it. Just because my analysis may not fit with the mainstream doesn't mean there isn't a significant amount of truth to it. Actually, I tend to think it is the truth because it's what I see and it's what I believe millions upon millions and millions of people experience. That really to me is a litmus test, right? If every time I go to Xinjiang, people are telling me their lives are improving, who am I to say they're not? We are trying to promote understanding in a very difficult time.
Yeah, story is always a very good way to telling the truth. So, can you share with us stories of you having this experience here? What's the most impressive stories during this trip?
That is very difficult because I've had the privilege now of speaking to many people here about their experience. I spoke to an older Uyghur woman yesterday where we went to her home share where her and her family have created a business out of it, a place where people go, relax, eat wonderful Uyghur food, and it's very colorful and bright. And she talked about how her life has improved because of the growth of tourism to Xinjiang, and that will increase her and her family's revenue by a lot. But it was inspiring to hear her talk about how she comes from a family that doesn't speak Mandarin very well. They've only started to learn it, but through this business, she's actually now able to, she can tell where people from China, mainland China, outside of Xinjiang are coming from. She can hear the dialect now, and it's just very inspiring to hear how her and her family's life has been able to improve. It's something that is very, very inspiring. So that was a wonderful story.
Yeah, I saw you posted a video on the internet, right?
Yes. Yeah, I posted a few. One of the interesting ones I posted recently were Uyghur, Kazakh, and various other ethnic groups, 3 women dancing to a Russian song. It's something that I think is very unique to Xinjiang and something I had never seen before, actually. I've never seen such attention to preserving and protecting diversity while also putting it within this larger project of helping people improve their lives.
As a Xinjiang people, as I grew up in Xinjiang, listen to what you have said, it really touched me. My tears gonna go down. So a question from bottom of my heart, why would you do that for Xinjiang? Why would you do that for China?
What's going on in Xinjiang? What's happening in China? What's happening in the world? There are many instances where we can actually see small examples maybe, or maybe big examples, depending on the subject. But if it's Xinjiang, maybe this is a small example of what that looks like. right? What it looks like for people who have come from really hard and difficult conditions, that have a long history, a very complex one, now seeing their lives improve very fast and very rapidly, and how that serves so much good for Xinjiang, for China, and the rest of the world. And so I believe it's an example.
So have you gotten your answers for that?
I've gotten more, right? Like, I think there's still so much more to learn. But certainly this overall trend of people in Xinjiang, their lives improving, correlates so much with this huge integration project of the Belt and Road Initiative, and as well as just this broader policy of integrating ethnic diversity with modernization. It's just so much to see, so much more to learn. But overall, I would say, yes, it can be 100% confirmed that we are witnessing, actually, not a descent into tragedy. We are witnessing the overall trajectory moving in the right direction. And that's what is very interesting to see, and I'm very pleased to see it.